This is Mr. Joshua Reinke, who is a teacher at Kodaikanal, history teacher at Kodaikanal International School. And so, Mr. Joshua, could you tell us more about what you studied in your college?
Sure. Thank you so much, Johan. Hi, everyone. So my name is Joshua. I'm from the United States. I'm from California, which is on the west coast of the United States because the west coast is the best coast. And I grew up in California. I went to the University of California for my undergraduate. I did my BA in history. I specialized in American and African histories. Even though I would say most of the coursework was geared towards American history, I did study American history at uni during college in California. And then I worked for about, I think, about 3 years. I worked at a nonprofit in Washington, D.C. and in Connecticut, which is on the opposite side of the United States. And then I went to post-grad school for the history of religions. So I have my master's in the history of religions. And I kind of specialized in religious history, in the history of like monks and nuns. It gets very, very technical, but that's essentially what I did. So I'm very much grounded in the study of history and in the ways that historians think about the world, and the ways that history teachers teach history and teach our history as human beings.
That's great. And so, yeah. And so, what do you feel was the main differences working in India and working in the US?
Oh my God, Johan, there's so many differences. I don't think that there isn't enough time in the day to go through the differences, but I would say, well, let me back up, a little bit and kind of like let your viewers know about why I came to India, and sort of like why, like how I landed up in Cody. Um, I will say that for Americans, India is some place that's almost very mythical, right? It's very, very, it's a country that has a lot of history, a lot of culture that is very attractive to a lot of Americans. Now, I would say that Americans come to India mostly to either work in like the tech business, in Bangalore or in Mumbai, or they come to study like yoga or meditation. So it's like really two extremes, right? You have like tech and business, or you have like yoga, right? So I I came to India in like a completely different way to teach. But I had always wanted to come to India because it was always and still is a very fascinating country. You have so many people, so many religions, languages, everybody living together. In many ways, it reminds me a lot of America, but obviously much larger and much older than the U.S. is. So from the time I was a little boy, maybe I would say maybe age 11, 12, I had always wanted to come to India and visit India. So when I graduated with my postgraduate degree in the history of religions, I taught for 1 year at a very small boarding school in New Hampshire, which is if you guys can think, so like New Hampshire is like up near Canada. It's like in the northeast. It's basically like we're like, so think of like West Bengal. That's basically like New England and New Hampshire. So I was teaching there for a year. I wasn't really happy there. I wasn't happy there. It was a boys' school. It was very, very small. And I was like, you know what? I want to get out of the US. I want to go overseas. I want to go to India. So I basically looked at jobs in India, teaching jobs, and there was a job opening at the Cody School, and I applied, and the rest is history. And here I am.
That's great. It's a really interesting story on why you slowly were interested in coming into India. And so my next question is, what career opportunities do you see coming up for history students?
Sure, sure. So that's a great question, Johan. And I want to say something about this because I feel like those of us who study history or the arts, I feel like people who study business or economics or engineering, very often they're very negative on us, like they think, what the heck are you doing, like you can't do anything with history. I want your viewers to know, yes you can, because in America history majors end up doing everything. We're talking politics, law, engineering, medicine, teaching, business. If you look at people who go into, like, let's say business, for example, right, they become they either start their own business or they join an established business, and this could be in you know in marketing, in communications. This could be in finance. This could be in architecture. Whatever business you choose to go in, there are always history majors in that business. And the good thing about history is that it teaches you to read, it teaches you to write, and it teaches you to analyze sources, which are things that any employer anywhere needs. So you could love history. If you love history, great. I say study that in college, because you don't have to be, for example, a history teacher or an historian. There are so many really rich business people, men and women, who study history as undergraduates, and then they may go get their MBA later on, or they may go get a business degree or a finance degree of some sort, either in the United States or overseas. So I just want people to know that if you have a passion for history, if you love going into the past, studying sources, debating these issues in class, by all means, absolutely go and study history. That does not limit your career choices or opportunities at all. Because the skills that you learn in college, history skills, to read, to write, to analyze, to debate, those skills are absolutely needed and important in any position that you may find after college. So I will say that if people are interested in, if your viewers, Johan, if your listeners are interested in history, I say by all means study history in college, because if you're good at it and you get good marks and you can write good papers, that's perfect, and that's all you really need. Because having a history degree opens so many doors of opportunities. You can go into education if you want to be a teacher, or a dean or a principal, and those are all great jobs. You could certainly do that. But if you want to, for example, go to law school, and be a lawyer, having a history degree will prepare you greatly for that. If you want to go into business, accounting, finance, engineering, I can't tell you how many engineers I know who have a history background, because engineering teaches you the technical skills and history teaches you how to read and write, the verbal and communicative skills. So what I would say, Johan, to yourself, to your viewers, to your listeners, is that you can do so much with history. And I would say so much with in the humanities and in the social sciences as well. There's so many opportunities that are open to you by studying history and by delving into our past as human beings.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua, and thank you for delving into how history majors can actually do various careers.
Sure.
And so, thanks so much, and good luck. See you soon.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Johan. Thank you. Thank you.